singer from Tom Odell. Coming up, you can hear the penultimate track from our album of the week from Simple Minds. We'll have our record of the week from Taylor Swift. And Scott Mills will be choosing another 2 tracks of his years. It's Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. This is Claire Runacres. The energy giant Shell says its profits more than doubled between July and September compared with the same period last year, rising to more than £8 billion. Helped by high oil and gas prices, the company is on track to break its record annual profit and says it will reward its shareholders with a 15% increase in its regular dividend. Our chief political correspondent Nick Eardley says the huge profits could tempt the government to hit Shell with a further windfall tax.
Liz Truss was ideologically opposed to windfall taxes and had totally ruled it out. The new Prime Minister Rishi Sunak isn't as ideologically opposed. In fact, he introduced the first one. So I think it's a debate that's going to continue as a live one over the next couple of weeks. And it's quite possible that you will see an extension of the windfall tax in the autumn statement on the 17th of November.
The International Energy Agency says the Russian invasion of Ukraine has helped to cause the first truly global energy crisis. But the agency says the war could mark a turning point, hastening the transition from fossil fuels to clean energy. People in Northern Ireland are facing the possibility of another election at Stormont as the deadline for the 2 main parties to form a government looms. Sinn Féin and the DUP have until midnight to re-enter a power-sharing agreement, but the Democratic Unionists have so far refused because of their concerns about post-Brexit trading arrangements. Andrew Muir is from the Cross Community Alliance Party.
We really are staring into the abyss, but it doesn't need to be like this. Today is one last opportunity for the DUP to stand up and take their responsibility seriously and allow us to restore the Assembly and the Executive whilst negotiations around the protocol continue between the EU and the UK government. We need to be able to deliver government for people here in Northern Ireland.
Unison members who work for the NHS in England, Wales and Northern Ireland are beginning to vote on whether to take strike action about a below-inflation pay offer. The union's calling on them to back walking out, but the government's urged staff to consider the effects of a strike on patients. The Conservative Party chairman, Nadeem Zahawi, has insisted the government is working with real urgency to reduce the number of migrants crossing the Channel. He said ministers were cooperating with their French counterparts, but there were no easy answers. The chair of the Home Affairs Committee, the Labour MP Dame Diana Johnson, says the asylum and immigration systems are in crisis.
There's over 100,000 asylum claims waiting to be decided, so there's a huge backlog. When people travel over in the small boats across the Channel, they're just added on to that number of 100,000. And that means that the system is gummed up. 5.6 million every day being spent on hotels because of this backlog.
And cricket officials in India have announced that the country's international women cricketers will be paid the same match fee as the men. They said the move marked a new era of gender equality in India's most popular sport. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 11.
Gary Davies. Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.